I had a really bad bout of long COVID. I was severely cognitively and physically disabled for about a year and a half, where I was completely housebound. And then I was finally able to start socializing again. And then all of a sudden, I was just dealing with such low self-esteem and was really insecure. It was a total mind fuck. All of a sudden, I thought I was talking with a stutter and I had a hard time articulating my thoughts. And I was like, oh my God, people are going to think I'm stupid. And I was constantly comparing myself to who I was before I caught COVID. And I didn't know who I was anymore. And that's just like a really scary space to live in. And it felt like I was drowning and I didn't know how to get help or what kind of help I needed. It's not like with self-esteem and identity issues, it's not like you can take a pill and you're all better. That is when I reached out to you.
And if I could add, I remember you saying, I'm a freak.
Oh, I said that? That's
You
so
did.
sad. Oh my
So,
God, that breaks my heart to hear that. I don't
yeah.
remember. I believe you. I just don't. Oh my God.
And see, what I love the fact that you just said that is just to show how the shift has already happened.
Yeah,
Like
for
me
sure.
going, oh wow, like I don't remember even saying that or feeling that way. So
Yeah. I felt like I was in this hole that I didn't know how to get out of. I wasn't living life intentionally.
mm,
But when you're coming from a place of insecurity, you can't live intentionally. It's always living on defense. So, as a consequence, you're just feeling stuck.
yeah.
For one, I was just really angry at the world just because of the things I was going through in general. But I think it was honestly a coping mechanism
Mhm.
for dealing with the low self-esteem and the insecurity because I just didn't know how to fix it. It
Yeah.
was just so frustrating. Being insecure affects every aspect of your life. When you feel like you're not enough, when you feel like you're not lovable, like I said, how do you go forward with anything?
Yeah.
You're always living in the back of your mind in a place of fear. I was so worried that people were going to be able to see the difference. And once they saw the difference, that they were going to think that I was less than. And
Mm,
looking back at it now, I'm like, why did I care about that? Because the people in my life love me for who I am, regardless.
yeah.
Yeah, it was just, I couldn't be myself,
Yeah.
whoever that was at the time. I was constantly living through this filter of how do I act so I'm not found out. That's just not a way to live.
Yeah. 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 What changes did you make from
Mhm.
working with me?
I would journal about this. It was really fun reading back on it. But essentially, I just retrained my brain to focus on the qualities that I already had. And I think, you know, reframing my focus, reframing my thoughts, it just had like a ripple effect on how I was just dealing with everyday life, my interactions with people, whether it's with friends or even the barista at Starbucks. And it really helped propel me forward to start living intentionally again. I think the biggest one for me is that I'm still having some setbacks in terms of my long COVID. There are some days where I speak with a prominent stutter. There are some days where I have very debilitating brain fog. And in the past, I would just go into this spiral of very negative self-talk. Does not happen at all anymore, at all. And the swagger is very much back. It's not
Yeah,
wavering.
it is.
Even though I've acceptance was one of the things I have limitations and I've completely accepted that. Yes, I have cognitive and physical deficits. Yes, I'm not the same person that I was before, but at the same time, I am still that same person. And if we're going to like specific examples, there's certain situations where maybe I would react in anger, maybe I would cut off someone because of something they said or did, but just coming from a place of empathy and love, I've noticed that my just in general, my interactions with people, it's actually very interesting, even different from how I acted before I caught COVID, like even from back then. So it's just been not only growing from what I was struggling with long COVID, but just personal work from even further back from that. So I definitely have been clocking moments where it's, oh, I am acting differently now. I sit and process everything and it's okay, let's wait. How can I come at this situation from a place of authenticity, from a place of acceptance, from a place of love, from a place of adaptability? Yeah, it's been really, it's been, I don't know if rewarding is the right word. Sure, let's use it. It's been rewarding.
Yeah.
It goes both ways too, because of when I was feeling so less than, having people accept me for being less than was so huge in terms of my growth and the work that we were doing. But it goes both ways, right? Um, how do I accept other people if I don't accept myself? So it's just coming from a kinder place, being kinder to myself, being kinder to other people in certain situations where in the past I would have reacted very differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did the support that you received from me help you to make these changes possible?
Where do you want me to start? Oh my
From the
goodness.
beginning.
Oh my God. Okay, so to identify the root of an issue, I revealed things to you that have happened in my life that I have not told anyone. Anyone. And mind you, let me remind whoever's watching, I had such low self-esteem. I was so insecure. Yet from our first meeting, you made me feel so seen and so safe that I was able to be that vulnerable, that I was able to just surrender to the work without feeling that I was being constantly judged, without having to put on that filter that I was putting on for everyone else.
Yeah.
So that was invaluable. Not only were you my coach, but you were also my genuine cheerleader. I could feel that you genuinely cared about me getting through this, about me finding myself again, and were rooting for my success. So when there were some like really hard weeks, it made it easier to put my head down, do the work, and get through it because I knew you were rooting for me.
I feel honored that you allowed me to do this work with you, to provide the safe container that was needed. And now, knowing the shifts that are happening for you,
Hmm.
how do you see yourself now, right? And
Yeah,
what have you learned about yourself that has pleasantly surprised you?
yeah. I think my biggest aha moment during all our work was just because I might be lacking in certain areas doesn't mean that I don't still have those qualities. It just looks differently now. I'm still an empathetic person. I am just empathetic in different ways now. And
And
that's
also to
okay.
yourself, and
And
also
to
to yourself.
myself, and to myself. And that's okay. And another thing I learned, which I can't believe I didn't realize at the time, I just was so hard on myself. Even though I was achieving at such a high level, I was just holding myself and others, to be honest, to this impossible standard. And it's been very liberating just letting that go. My self-esteem or whatever, it's not attached to my achievements anymore. I value being kind and loving myself more. And I can't believe I haven't said this yet. It has created a lot of calm in my life, calm and peace in my life, which is something we're laughing because those are two things that was a common thread in every session that I was apparently seeking. But yeah, just coming from a place of calm and peace. When we did love, that was one of the hardest things because I felt so unlovable just because of the disabilities and stuff, but finally learning to love myself. And that was huge. That was huge.
How do you see that playing out now?
Everything has a ripple effect. So it's gonna affect my relationships, platonic and romantic.
Hey, nice.
And just not beating myself up. And a specific example, it just bleeds into getting my swagger back. After I would do a self-tape, I'm an actor. After I do a self-tape, even though objectively, if someone watches it, they might think, okay, it's pretty good. I would beat myself up about it. But now I come from a place where it's, nah, mic drop, move on. The work is done, take it or leave it. It's just coming from a better place energy wise. And I truly believe that this is a scientific fact. We're all just energy and people can feel that. when that's what you're exuding. I only think it's going to, when I'm putting that out, people are going to feel it and it's only going to come back tenfold. Now it feels like everything's just been unlocked. I can handle anything life throws at me now because I have the tools and the resources to get through any situation. But the caveat, I'm not saying everything's going to be smooth sailing. That's not life, but I know how to handle it now. And in that regard, to answer your question, Lonnie, the potential is limitless. I'm like genuinely excited for the near future, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, like when I'm old and gray. There's so much life left to live.
Mm.
And I have a year and a half of lost time that I need to make up for. So I'm just like, I'm very excited to go at life with, I'm going to use a phrase that you like to use, this 2.0 version of myself. I'm going to come at life with that.
Anything else you want to say? Add anything in general, Monique? Your platform.
I honestly don't know where I'd be right now if we hadn't worked together. Just anyone that's dealing with imposter syndrome or even the smallest confidence issues or being inauthentic or anything like that, I think they would be pleasantly surprised working with you.